The deterministic theory is that Coop was always going to reach the Tesseract, because relative to the people who made it, i.e. post-humanity, they are already at the point where Coop is literally ancient history. Woven into the fabric of space-time, the future orchestrators of the Tesseract create a space where predestination aligns with love as a universal force and motivation for the improbable actions of impossible determination. What this means most simply is that Coop is always inside the Tesseract because his essence is always intertwined with the very destiny of mankind. So he must function as catalyst for the future beings to have a future to exist in, having survived the death of Earth. What this means is that the block universe depicted in the fourth-dimensional space of the Tesseract is an accurate representation of the post-human perception of time, which is, as a malleable construct, they can navigate freely through using omnidirectional temporal movement. They create the Tesseract in the only place it is capable of existing in our space-time, without violating it by creating a temporal paradox. They situate the Tesseract inside a black hole's singularity, so Coop can survive the black hole, and the Tesseract will not interact with baseline reality to create a time paradox. Coop then becomes the solution to the problem of how he arrived at NASA's coordinates to become the pilot who would send himself the coordinates through Morse code on a fourth-dimensional interface. The fourth-dimensional influence of the Tesseract gives Coop a temporary access to post-human interface with reality. This is because the post-humans have already solved for Coop's time-dilated journey and its relative mass of distance between eras, because they know Coop is already inside the Tesseract relative to them, because he is history to their society. Therefore, the moment Coop arrives inside the Tesseract is a moment they had waited for and accounted to happen. Coop is both cause and effect of his own journey. The only thing the post-humans do is give him an interface which can interact with what is to him as the very recent past, but relative to Earth is decades of history. The ghost in Murph and Coop's life is Coop's continual attempts to send the message through the 4D interface to Murph when she was a girl. This ghost cycling through her life is her father, in a 4D space, trying to isolate the exact moment he can influence her to give him the mission. This means Coop is already inside the Tesseract from the movie's beginning, and indeed, his activity there will be locked as a hyper moment of history, where post-humanity recognizes Coop saved civilization. Coop's journey in the Tesseract is a locked moment where even if the Tesseract dissolves, it is always there in the block depiction of time, meaning, yes, Coop does eventually leave and return to civilization, but it comes at an interesting price. A part of Coop is permanently locked in the Tesseract because he always be influenced 4D space to cause the temporal rift that allows them to find NASA. His presence is a timeless anchor of interconnection between two vastly distinct and distant times of human existence. Interstellar is a film about a predetermined success of a mission that had no reason to succeed other than because love motivated irrational and insane chances to save humanity's existence.